Greetings, my name is Michael Stavrakakis and I'm the singer of Doomocracy from Greece. Today I'm starting my own YouTube show called Addicted to Lists. Since I was a child, I was a fan of making lists. Whether it was lists of my favorite toys, favorite video games, things that I wanted to do, or places that I wanted to visit, I loved making lists. And when I got involved into music, I started making even more lists. Favorite albums, favorite songs, favorite bands. So in this channel, I will be compiling lists of my favorite music, featuring lists of producers, editors, musicians, and music fans. So if this sounds like a good idea to you, let's begin. As you might have seen in the title, this video is about my favorite progressive metal albums. Progressive metal is one of my favorite genres in heavy metal. I started listening to it many years ago with bands like Dream Theater, Fates Warning, Queensryche, CG7, Watchtower, Psychotic Waltz, and many more. What I like about progressive metal is that it can be combined with other genres as well. We have progressive thrash, or tech metal as people call it. We have progressive death, progressive doom metal, progressive power metal. Special guests on today's show are Michael Kohsiek, editor of German Death Forever magazine, and Hagen Schmid, the incredible singer of Payne's Grave, a progressive metal band from Germany. Here is the list of my favorite progressive metal albums of all time. Perfect Symmetry by Fates Warning is one of the first progressive metal albums that I ever listened to. It is the first album of the band to feature drummer Mark Zonder. His performance in the album is fantastic. To me, this album is the epitome of progressive metal, a perfectly symmetric progressive metal album. Rage for Order is not necessarily my favorite Queensryche album, but I believe it's the most innovative that the band has released, especially the year it was released. It features some of my favorite Queensryche songs like Screaming in Digital and London. The compositions and the voice of Jeff Tate make this album one of my favorite progressive metal albums. Into the Everflow by Psychotic Waltz was actually the first Psychotic Waltz album that I ever listened to. I remember first listening to this album with the drummer of Doomocracy, Minas Vasilakis. We were both amazed by the vocal melodies of Devon Graves, the beautiful poetry behind the lyrics, and the amazing guitar work by Rock and McAlpine. It's an album that I listen to daily, and it features some of my favorite songs in heavy metal, like Out of Mind, Into the Everflow, and Butterfly. Keep in mind that making lists is a spontaneous thing. It means that these are your favorite albums at the moment, as taste can change at any time. Plus, there's a chance of always forgetting something when you compile a list. Also notice that this channel features lists that are based on favorites and not best, as I think choosing the best is truly subjective. So if your favorite album or band is not featured, it doesn't mean that I don't like it, it just means that I like something else better. So let's move on now to the list of my distinguished guests. We begin with Michael Kohsiek, editor of Death Forever magazine, favorite progressive metal albums list. Michael Kohsiek quotes on his list of favorite progressive metal albums. Number 1 to number 3 is the holy trinity of music to me. They all belong to the so-called progressive metal genre, but they are so much more to me. They open worlds, they take you far away from the spiral tower to Arcana, only a matter of time. That's a great play with words, Michael. And I must say that we have quite some common taste. Moving on now to the singer of Payne's Grey, Mr. Hagen Schmid. Payne's Grey was a progressive metal band formed in 1988. They only released one album called Kadath Decoded, but it was a really good album. It is an album where progressive music meets jazz and whose lyrics are dedicated to H.P. Lovecraft. Here is the definition of progressive metal per Hagen Schmid. It is bands that grew out of classic heavy metal by innovating their style, not necessarily by playing more complex or complicated virtuoso stuff, but by sounding uniquely different. So here are Hagen Schmid's favorite progressive metal albums. Hagen Schmid quotes about his first three favorite progressive metal albums. My first encounter with Fate's Warning was No Exit, and it was a cool album. 2 songs I really liked. Only 2, Hagen? Come on. But otherwise, I wasn't overwhelmed. When I first heard Perfect Symmetry, I thought it was something totally different from anything I heard before. Songs, drums, the strings on it Fate's hands, and I instantly loved it. The show with Sanctuary and Secrecy I was very lucky to witness is also one of the most memorable concerts I ever saw. I'm so envious of you, Hagen, for witnessing this concert. Social Grace was another record that basically changed my musical life. When Psychotic Waltz came on tour, they played a lot of songs that weren't on the album, and I was transported into another world. Those were even deeper and to be released on Into the Everflow. Same here, goosebumps galore, and it gets me every time to this day. Magical and eternal music. I believe that Payne's Grey played with Psychotic Waltz back in 1996, right? Mr. Bangle. I love Mike Patton's incredible performance on basically anything he did. The only reason he doesn't appear in my list is that he is neither a metal singer nor just a rock singer, but a favorite for sure. California is to me his best performance ever, and the bands/songs as wild as it gets. I love it. It has something that makes me happy. The humor, outstanding musicianship, no rules boundaries mentality, one of the best albums ever recorded. And again, the show I got to see on that tour is another one of the most memorable in my life. I think I have some common albums in my list with Hagen Schmid, but I admit that Hagen's list features some albums that I've never heard before, or I've only heard once or twice. So you gave me some homework there, Hagen. And that exactly is the great thing about making lists. You go through your records, you rediscover albums that you had forgotten, then you share the list with your friends and learn about albums that you never heard before. I think it's a very entertaining way to find new music. So that was it. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and help this channel grow. Leave your quotes and your lists in the comment section below. Let me know what list you want me to feature on this channel. Until next time, rock on!